Here are 10 ways Sigma males intimidate others. Welcome to Viral Brain, where we focus on the psychology of different personalities. Make sure to like and subscribe to be notified whenever we release new content. Number 1. Sigmas don't follow rules. This is especially intimidating to alphas, who feel threatened by Sigmas because they jeopardize the system alphas and betas are trying to maintain. Sigmas question everything and think for themselves, designing a personal code they live by, which they spent a lot of time and effort developing. They absolutely hate the word tradition and never do things they find pointless just because their parents and grandparents used to do them. For example, a Sigma male wouldn't steal, not because of law or because he's afraid to go to prison, but because his personal code says that taking from other people with no right to do so is wrong. And if their code doesn't include that, they can skew away from the law. They can also put a lot of people on edge with their unorthodox views. You may find that the majority of male college dropouts are Sigmas because they logically break down the value they're getting from college versus the time, money, and effort they invest in it. And if the equation doesn't balance out, they will leave. They won't do something just because their parents and peers say it's the right thing to do. They have to be convinced for themselves. This often causes problems with their families, especially if they don't understand the Sigma's goals and dismiss his thoughts as ridiculous. Number 2. Sigma males are quiet. Unless they're with a group of super close friends whom they're comfortable chatting with about all kinds of nonsense, Sigma males prefer being the silent one in the group for a few reasons. 1. They don't feel the need to receive social validation. When strangers talk, it's usually a show they put on to communicate to other people that they're eloquent, well-informed, or educated about a certain topic, or that they're funny or kind or whatever good picture they want to paint of themselves. But Sigmas, they don't really care what people think of them. They reveal very little information about themselves, and people are intimidated by the unknown. 2. If you're talking, you're not listening. And Sigmas love listening. They learn about everyone and sort of profile them before they start giving information. And 3, many people talk because they have to say something. Sigmas talk because they have something to say. Many people can't stand silence. Sigmas don't mind it, and they can even cherish it. They already have so much going on in their minds to keep themselves entertained. They often say things like, "I don't really know, I haven't thought about it," or "I'm not informed enough to have an opinion on this topic." They're not afraid to show that they don't know. They're not afraid of being judged, and they'd rather stay silent than talk nonsense. Number 3. Sigma males can be unintentionally offensive or brutally honest. People lie to make themselves look better, to hide a mistake or a failure they've made, or to protect someone's feelings and spare their pain. Sigmas don't really care about any of these things, so they just don't have a reason to lie. They have pragmatic views on life, and they don't sugarcoat stuff to make it sound better. They tell it like it is, and if it hurts someone, well, too bad. It's still the truth. Needless to say, this makes a lot of people uncomfortable around a Sigma, and they might be afraid he'd call them out on something they're insecure about. This is why Sigmas are extremely intimidating to Omegas, who fear Sigmas way more than they do Alphas. The thing is, Sigmas don't mind hearing the truth themselves, so they don't give these filters of politeness and esteem as much significance as others do. They're humble, so they have no regard to title or status. They talk to their college professors and bosses the same way they talk to the janitor or someone who works for them, with respect and honesty. They have a mindset that goes, "The only reason there has to be a guy who tells children Santa doesn't exist is the guy who told them Santa does." And some people just like Santa. Number 4. Sigmas prioritize their goals above everything and everyone. Even though Sigma males can fit well into society and can be sensitive and sympathetic, they always put their goals and happiness over everyone and everything else. Altruism is among the least likely virtues you'd find in a Sigma male. and they're not afraid to admit that. You'd find them saying something like, "I'd love to make my parents proud, but I gotta put myself first." They would stop at nothing and spare no one to achieve their goals. This is extremely intimidating to people who stand in a Sigma's way. Number 5. Sigmas never trust anyone until they earn their trust. Law says the suspect is innocent until proven guilty. Sigmas say everyone is guilty until proven innocent. Anyone who has something to hide or someone who lies constantly would be extremely intimidated by Sigmas, because they would know that Sigmas aren't buying their lies. Sigmas are hard to convince. They don't trust people just because some other people trust them, or because that's the polite thing to do. They value their trust and respect, and they feel like it has to be earned. Number 6. Sigma males are independent. Because of their distrust towards people, they always feel like they need to survive on their own. For example, you'll always find that Sigma males have multiple income streams, or at least they have a plan B and C if their current income stream fails for any reason. A Sigma employee works at a company because he likes to, not because he needs to, and that's threatening to employers who provide less than optimal conditions. There's a quote that goes, "The most dangerous people of all are those who refuse to rely on your sword to save them because they carry their own." The fact that Sigmas don't depend on anyone is intimidating to those who are used to people depending on them. The idea of living off the grid is extremely appealing to Sigmas. They'd love to live in a house that runs on solar energy, growing their own food, and making their own resources, because they don't even want to depend on the government for providing these things. Sigmas never make themselves involved in such a way that would make leaving problematic. This can reach the point of intimidating his own partner, as she might always feel like he could leave at any moment. Number 7. Sigmas never give up. Life just cannot break a Sigma male, and that's a fact. It doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter how hard the going gets, and it doesn't matter how many times they fall. They will always find a way back up and adapt. Sigma males are the best natural survivors out of all the male personality archetypes. Think Elon Musk, a famous Sigma example. The man confessed that at some point in his life, he had to borrow money from his friends to cover his family's basic needs like food and clothes, because he put all his money in Tesla and SpaceX, and neither of them was making a dime back then. Now he's competing for the spot of the richest man on the planet. Needless to say, the fact that Sigma males just can't be put down is intimidating to many people. Those who oppose a Sigma, and also those who are finding it difficult not to give up themselves. Number 8. Sigmas are happy single. You're more likely to find a Sigma male single than in a relationship. Women come to Sigmas effortlessly, and they often reject them. This makes their fellow males a bit intimidated by them, because all the other personality archetypes are struggling and putting in time and effort to score well with the ladies, while Sigmas are not even competing in the race and still winning. A Sigma always has a chance of stealing your girlfriend. Sigmas reject women all the time, and they still manage to be extremely attractive to most ladies. They don't reject them because of an antisocial mentality or a vow of celibacy. It's the fact that they're hyper-aware of the responsibilities that come with being in a relationship. Think about it. It's cheaper and more efficient to live alone, travel alone, and a partner can be the greatest source of happiness and fulfillment in life, but they can also take way too much time, and Sigmas care about their time. The way Sigmas think about it is, if they're in a fulfilling relationship, they might feel so happy and satisfied that they don't strive to achieve great things. So oftentimes, they'd rather focus their energy and resources on themselves, at least till they think they've made it and they're ready to settle down. This is why Sigmas give off a mysterious and unattainable vibe, because they're genuinely not looking for a relationship. And this is what makes women want them. People want what they can't have. It's worth to mention that this can also make some women feel intimidated by a Sigma, because he's not chasing her like she's used to from other men. Number 9. Sigmas have strongly defined preferences. They don't like something or someone just because everyone likes it. They look within themselves to find what they truly enjoy in life, and they're not afraid to say it. So they have different tastes in music, food, art, places, and pretty much everything. This can cause a lot of people to worry that a Sigma might criticize their favorite things. You'd often find a Sigma male listening to songs from past decades or centuries, or talented underground artists not many people know about. And they'd like a genre even if it has a bad reputation, or an association with a particularly infamous group of people, which some people would relentlessly judge. Many times a Sigma would find a famous art piece pointless or overrated. They might think, yeah, the Mona Lisa is great and all, but I'm pretty sure there are way more talented people in the world, they're just not as famous as Leonardo da Vinci. Number 10. Sigma males have a tiny inner circle. He's not a people pleaser or a people's person, and he definitely wasn't the popular guy in high school. Sigma males probably have a handful of very close friends they're probably going to have for life, and they often have 2 or 3 very serious relationships throughout their entire lifetime. This is because Sigmas value their own time and resources above everything, and they just don't want to waste them on someone who's not a good fit. This can make it intimidating to approach a Sigma, because people know that there's only a tiny chance they could get into his inner circle. Thanks for watching.